Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovative, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Hero Psych Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to a 1v1 on... You guessed it is Twin Beaches in the north. It is Charlotte fighting here for the Wehrmacht of Germany, Deutschland, here with the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. In the south stands Chocolate Starfish, fighting for the British Empire, the Commonwealth. Rolling out here with the 4th Infantry Division. Task with keeping a German counterattack alongside this road in check until more armoured reinforcements can be brought up. Double sapper start here for Chocolate Starfish. Double Pioneers MU42 here for Charlotte. As always, a big hearty thanks to my paid supporters. Help keep the phone accounts running with their generous and most well-received support. So big thanks and applause to all those. Clap, clap, clap. So, no battle group choice here yet from Charlotte. We shall, of course, see what she decides to go for. Meanwhile, we got a 3rd sapper section out here for Chocolate Starfish. That is, well, a lot of sappers. Could perhaps be a hint or an indicator of armoured, as that one does in particular synergize as well with having a lot of sappers. We'll have to see, though. Charlotte, meanwhile, bring up a 2nd MG42 team. Clearly looking to take advantage of the newly buffed Maschinengewehr 42, which, of course, to blast the Tommies into tiny bits. So let's bring up there. Sandbags done. Very good. South side. Steady advance as well. Pioneers advancing into the east. North. 2nd MG42 team ready. Guessing Canadians next. Or does Charlotte have some other plans in mind? We'll have to see. Hauling that one forwards. Pioneers bringing up there. Sappers advancing. 2nd machine gun teaming up the centre. Already outflanked here by the sappers and up with the Sten guns. That's going to have to treat it for Charlotte. Unless she can pull it into like another MG42 team. Yeah, that's being a treated. There's simply too many sappers here for that machine gun to get back here safely. And a 3rd MG42 team here. Charlotte already exploring the newly buffed MG42 in some fairly aggressive ways here. Got an infantry section out here. And I would not be surprised if seeing that many MG42s out here, Charlotte could prompt a mortar or two to help deal with all these machine and Gewehren. But again, we'll have to see how exactly. Yeah, that's a mortar. In this case, the 3-inch mortar tube there being brought in to help deal with the Jones. In the south, sappers advancing there, Sten guns in hand. Pioneers at the ready, but triple MG42 there. Bold strategy in some regards. Very bold strategy. We'll, of course, have to see where Charlotte goes with this. So far, no sign of battle groups there. Sappers standing about here by the northern ruins. 4th MG42. Okay, Charlotte is absolutely ecstatic about MG42s and has decided she really wants to see where those MG42s can go. That is certainly something else. Need to be quite careful. Not be caught in a bad position with them. Well, things could go very sour, very fast. But 4 MG42s the section caught here. Quickly getting suppressed here. We got the mortar tube being hauled up here to bombard the German machine guns. I would not be surprised if he ends up going for like double mortars here, or maybe even like go for Indian artillery. That is planned to go for a heavy mortar. In the south, machining up to support the Pioneers set by the southern victory point here. So far, Charlotte's advance is going slowly but steadily here. Though again, again, troops and of course a mortar poses some rather technical issues here for Charlotte's machine guns. There got almost one MB4 team already got wiped out here. The 3-inch mortar there is already making quite an impact here on Charlotte and the 3rd Panzergrenadier shoulder here. 5th Panzergrenadier Company. Section there inside the building. There's the MB42 there taking some nasty amount of damage. Mortar ready to bombard the next set of targets. As all of this is happening, Charlotte's also outmaneuvered through the south here, taking advantage of the heavy focus around the road here from Chocolate Starfish to switch around here. That said, Chocolate Starfish is looking quick to hit Charlotte's fuel and returning machine almost wiped out again. And then before two, there's also in a bit of a tight spot here as we get the mortar back on route here. Sappers are almost being right up, but then before two at point blank range. In the end, though, that is the 3rd MG42 team forced off the field. Close call. Meanwhile, back at Charlotte's base, we do get the Panzergrenadier Company, but still no infantry sort of really going on there for Charlotte. As for Chocolate Starfish, we got another section. We got wreckage section there. Fuel still cut off here. Machine guns repositioning after being healed up, getting ready for the next big push for the Fatherland. Panzergrenadier Company halfway down there. Certainly an unusual fight so far, but unusual also means interesting. I think south is a machining van, the Pioneer, machine heading westwards as well here. Panzergrenadier Company ready. Guessing some fast Panzergrenadiers, unless Charlotte is planning a fast 251 half-tech and Sturmel maybe, or ambulance I suppose. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities there to pursue different build orders there. But guessing Panzergrenadier for Charlotte, machine moving forward, catching the Sappers here by the northern victory point here of North moving forwards. Mortar raining down death here, though not quite accurately. Sappers routed, the MG42 of course was a fierce medium machine gun, and the Germans termed it a heavy machine gun team. But you know, the term would be more medium or general purpose machine gun, as it could perform a variety of roles. Pioneers there, holding up alongside the machine gun, trying to slowly connect the southwestern fuel point here. We need to grab that fuel point as well if that's really happened, or the munitions point here. Section advancing here towards the southern point. May want to pop some flares so they don't run into the MG42 here, but clearly Chocolate Starfish is very optimistic that the MG42 does not cover that fuel point, or he apparently didn't count how many machine guns Charlotte has. But admittedly, most male players do not bother with 4 MG42s. Got the Panzerabwehrkanone ready there. Still no battle groups here for Charlotte, nor any real infantry. Meanwhile, we do get the platoon command post up here. An armoured car could be an excellent choice to stood here to help deal with all these machine guns. In with the Pack 40, of course. Section there flanked out machine gun in the south. Small win up north here, fighting here for northern fuel point there. Machine gun versus mortar. Direct hits there, closing in veterans one at each point. It does get a zeroing ability, allowing it to basically get more accurate with each shot. Fairly unique ability there. First time I think we had something like that in companies, at least on an individual weapon team. There was some zeroing abilities in a sense with artillery call-ins, but I don't think they quite work the same. Anyways, still no sign of Panzergrenadier here from Charlotte, or well, any infantry. But so far, 4 machine guns is working out surprisingly well. Surprisingly well. Sabs they caught in a bad spot with the M42 veterans who won, which increases suppression. Mortar closing in a veterans who won here. South section advancing there. There we go, quickly pushed back there by the 3-inch mortar tube. 6-pounder gun there, clearly concerned about German armour or vehicles. Certainly safe to assume there might be a Stug on the way, or Sturmgeschütz. Has become even more popular after the buffs. I mean, it was sort of slowly catching on, more players realizing, hang on, this thing's like pretty decent. Post-buff, it's, you know, hang on, this thing is pretty good for the most part. You know, I mean, the increased rate of fire, the increased rotation, all good. And certainly the increased penetration, if applied, certainly also works out fairly when several circumstances. But like, the Stug was like already pretty solid. So, you know, also doesn't hurt. They actually made it less expensive in terms of manpower and increased the fuel cost. As the armor can be a bit manpower intensive, having the Stug just cost 300 manpower and 60 fuel is actually like fairly decent. Like, I've actually had many cases where, like, you know, I had too much fuel but not enough manpower, and the Stug slightly shifting that around, I think is actually like a pretty decent buff in some regards. But anyways, no, we actually get a Nebelwerfer here from Charlotte. Very support weapon heavy approach here versus Chocolate Starfish so far. Clearly not without its merits, but also forces Charlotte into much more positional heavy warfare. Mine goes off, then we're taking out the section. Close call there for Chocolate Starfish. In the south here, but the victory point on the fuel point on the beaches. The MG42 there is holding down the infantry section there. The Recce section. 6-pounder gun coming in the center. Not much here further. We got the field infirmary up. A bit late to the party there. Got the Nebelwerfer out there, sent in to support the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division, as Nebelwerfers were pretty much always independent assets. Never really part of like any division organically. Fun fact. Which is a bit interesting because the Germans actually emphasized always like each division should have like a fair amount of artillery so they could always like operate with them independently. Samples wiped out. Which was in part due to the experiences learned from World War I in the Stormtrooper tactics. Chilling body here with the British mortar. Yup, veterans won. Gets a lot more accurate, a lot faster. And we got a second mortar. That's definitely not a bad idea, but Stug on the way. Excellent as well. But yeah, mortars need to spread out because we got the Nebulef out, which will definitely punish an opponent like this for bunching up the support weapons too much. I mean, it's obviously tempting, but you generally don't want to like present a big, easy target for a Nebelwerfer. So, 6 Pentagon crew lost. Mortars mostly survived, though some of them definitely are covered in third-degree burns. We also got a battle group choice here from Charlotte, is Mechanized, which has become significantly more popular. As the buffs the MU-42 into anti-tank guns, certainly has allowed slightly more defensive strategies, which certainly suits like attempts to like hold out for Panthers a bit more. We also got the Stug assault group here for Charlotte and the German army. There goes Stug 3G ready, adding the Pelmat machine gewehr. Sehr gut. The Chocolate Starfish is definitely in a bit of a critical position, but for the most part, I do think they're handling it fairly well. I mean, again, mortars versus a machine gun heavy approach is definitely, I think, a solid idea. But the Nebelwerfer definitely presents a bit of an issue there in terms of counter-battery fire against these mortars. So, Chocolate Starfish will need to be more cautious about how they position their mortars, or the Nebelwerfer could deliver some punching hits. But there goes Stug 3G ready. Machine gun team's holding up there. Pack 4 remaining reserve. Sappers pulling back. Big 2 points wise. It's also worth noting Chocolate Starfish does have the lead alongside a fuel lead here over Charlotte. So it's sort of an annoying build, but if you know what you're doing, you can definitely continue. Oh, and a mine laid down there, but Chocolate Starfish blows out the engine of Charlotte's Sturmgeschütz 3 aus G. An excellent hit there. 6 Pentagon mortars there hanging back. Though again, a bit more spread out, but I would still recommend maybe splitting out mortars a bit further away from the rest. Meanwhile, company command post here. Charlotte, or Chocolate Starfish, obviously thinking it might be a really good idea to bring in some armor, which I think is a very good idea. In fact, machine gun flanked here. Need for push back. Part of me suspect wonders if they're going to go for the Stug assault group, because otherwise, I know wouldn't they just go for the Achrad. Machine they catch some troops there. Go meet mortar fire here from the 3-inch mortar tubes. Excellent hits there. Now, of course, there's one thing worth keeping in mind, at least the allies with the machine gun buffs. They each like have easy access to the mortars from like, you know, their standard infantry building or their barracks or here in section command post. You can just easily go for a mortar. So it's not like you're completely like, you know, helpless against sudden bursts of machine guns unless you, I guess, don't know how to barrage something. Second Stug 3D ready here for Charlotte and the German army. Southeast section flanking the machine gun here by the southern fuel point. Swift counterattack here. And the lack of infantry does mean for Charlotte that any advance becomes fairly slow. It does lack the ability to like really exploit any openings, I feel like. So I do think that some infantry is going to be necessary for Charlotte in this sometime in the near future here. Another Nebelwerfer barrage off from Charlotte and the Nebelwerfer. North here, Pioneers with Stug support pushing for the northern missions point here, right outside the base, back here reinforcing healing. Looks like a more steady push towards the south side of the beach again, section caught here by the southern field point. Stug charging in for Savazaland, engaging the section at close range, ripping through them with the Pinelbot machine gun, and making a mess out of the section there, forcing it back. A nice push here. And they got Crusader tanks up here for Chocolate Starfish. Can be effective for the Stug if you flank them, or just swarm them with enough Crusaders with the 6-pounder gun, and we do get that added. Section 70 is part of the MU-42 and the Stug. Chocolate Starfish very wisely holds his men back before they get turned into, well, piles of blood. Stug pushing forwards there onto the center. We got a third Stug on the way there for Charlotte. We got more mines here from Chocolate Starfish, mortifying the Pioneers in the center. Closing in a 2 here on the grenade or the mortar there. The 3-inch mortar tube. Sapp's about to get wiped out. Before the Sturmgeschütze take them out. Stug pushing through the center. Crusader hanging about in the south. Now equipped with a 6-pounder gun and a slightly bigger turret. Third Stug on the way.
Bring up support.
Fun fact about that turret and that gun, they actually utilised them later on, even if the tank itself didn't see much uses after a certain point, on the Staghound armoured car. They actually upgunned some Staghounds by using the Crusader's turret and gun. Little fun fact, Nebula for barrage here to silence the mortars, at least silence some of them. Certainly highlighting how much of a threat these mortars are to Charlotte's like mortar heavy build. The continued lack of infantry as well, also remaining a bit of a standout element. Crusader sattling at the centre here up north, Victor pumping seas with the Pioneer. Sturmgeschütz remains on reserve.
MG-42 and crew ready. Fight!
Pioneers push back, we got 300 versus 432. South side there we got 6 moving forwards, got flares off here, Sturm pushing southwards. In the centre there, Sapper slowly advancing. Crusader inching forwards as well. And we got another Crusader here on the way for Chocolate Starfish to match the power of the Sturmgeschütze.
We have lost the sector.
Stu here about to get flanked with the Crusader. Nope, by the way, he's Chocolate Starfish up the flank here. Thumbs up. Very nice setup. Second time being holding in. There you go. Nice flank at the Stu key. Charlotte Sturmgeschütz transferring caught in a really bad position with the Crusader tank. Caught on the beaches in a rather wet and sticky position. Might even see another anti-tank grenade. Yes, indeed. And that's going to be the end of that Sturg. Again, the lack of support here proving instrumental here in Charlotte's loss of the Sturg 3G. They're sending a Sturg on its own without any infantry is a very bad idea. So, thumbs up here to Chocolate Starfish for exploiting such a mistake here by Charlotte. Even more fun fact, I mean, this is also like fairly inaccurate because by Charlotte, because Stug crews, like commanders within like Stugs under them were pretty much instructed to always make sure the Stugs had infantry support with them. Even more fun fact, the very first infantry units, sort of like when they actually like made some sort of, shall we say, initial escort details for them, or Begleittruppen, which was part of the Stug brigades, they'd actually been supported by assault rifle equipped troops. In fact, there were some of the first, shall we say, on paper assault rifle equipped units were the escort troops of the Stugs. So, fun fact there. But even like once they finally got around to like adding Stugs to the infantry divisions, commanders like of those infantry divisions were very much instructed by Guderian to like, you know, form up a small platoon of their best infantry with the best weapons to escort these Stugs. So Charlotte there definitely rushing in the Stugs unsupported by infantry is certainly breaking the instructions of Guderian. And would certainly get chewed out by Guderian if ever caught in that. So I'm going to pop the machine gun out in the open, push back, Crusaders moving forwards. Racing ahead. Second Crusader, they're heading out as well. Veterans one already. Punishment at the center. Mines possibly spotted. Need of Cav got auto extended Crusader as the Stugs. As there we go. Sidearm exposed means, of course, easy shots there for the Stug. Crusader bounces. With a mighty 80mm of frontal armor with the Stug. Bit sloped as well, in fact. South here, section pushing forwards further south here. Crusader going for the machine on the beaches. We've got Nebula barrage off here. Charlotte, of course, hoping to sneak out some hits. There we go. Hits the Veterans one mortar crew, which burns up. That's quite a bit of a painful loss there for Chocolate Starfish. Not just because the mortar crew burned up, but because that was the Veterans one mortar crew, which was closing in on Veteran 2 pretty fast. Anti-tank grenade on the Stug. Down, well, shocking the crew a bit here. Nebula almost wiped out. Quick go for the Stug assault group here. Again, add some infantry in, but so far Charlotte seems really insistent on maybe avoiding infantry. Perhaps again they're just trying to, you know, try out stuff here after the patches. This is, you know, I think right after the root patch was released, I did get this match here from Charlotte, so certainly some experimentation going on here. South here, Sabs moving forwards. 6 moving forwards. Mortar crew, they're just standing about. Nothing further in. Still no real sign of a battle group there from Chocolate Starfish, at least not directly. We got a 4th Stug for Charlotte. Sturmgeschütz. That is an excellent addition, though at this stage I would argue a Panzer Gun to the Officer Quarters upgrade would be very good for all these Stugs. Get some Veterans 1, and of course just more experience gained. So it typically tends to be a very good investment if you like commit to like any degree here with this particular building, like 4 Stugs and Nebelwerfer. You really want to consider like the Panzer Gun and the Officer Quarters at some point, and then getting mortared. Crusaders on the move, and the south side here, Stug rushing in again, unsupported this time though, at least. No troops with snares. Looks like here Chocolate Starfish sends some weakness here in Charlotte's Lines, and there you go. Goes for the isolated Stug here. 6 pound gun called up supported, keeping the other Stug at bay. There you go. It's a hard push here. The lack of snares here. That is no grenadiers. Say Fallschirmjägers does leave Charlotte's Stugs also further east, like exposed to like an armor rush and overrun here from Chocolate Starfish. Good hit from the 6 pound gun there on the Stugs, right through the side armor. Snare off as well here. We do get smoke here, part of the raid package, but there's a good chance here the Stug just got in flames here. Machine gun wiped out. Pioneer's about to get wiped here. This is turning into a pretty bad engagement there for Charlotte. Stug kaput. Got one of the Crusaders. But a machine gun and a Stug for Crusader is not great on the end. They might get the section here, which would help compensate. Chocolate Starfish absolutely should grab that MD42 and turn against Charlotte here. Stug charging forwards. And we got a Churchill tank that, of course, means armored. Stug's flying away. Then, of course, the armor buff here should help at least close range to penetrate the Churchill tank's frontal armor. There you go. At least for the side armor, they can absolutely penetrate close range flawlessly. There we go. Hack wiped out. Things are turning pretty harsh here for Charlotte. And the third Panther short Stug's about to get knocked out here. Hard push here by Chocolate Starfish, but kept around the Churchill tank for too long. Needs to pull it back now. Section getting mauled out in the open, but the losses are pretty intense on both sides. Nibbler for Team Decrewed. Another pack forward here, and there we go. Chocolate Starfish making off there with the anti-tank gun. Push! Terrence, push! I'm bloody well pushing! Another pack for with all these Churchills. That is closing the Panther. Stugs need repairs. Need both rapidly off here. Didn't grab the machine gun, but clearly trying to at least prevent the British from pulling off that pack 40. Hasn't recruited that either, but do think that needs to be recruited, and that absolutely needs to be recruited as well here. We'll have course see what happens next, but I imagine at this point the strategy from Chocolate Starfish is going to be go for a lot of Churchill tanks. You know, go for big boxy tanks that can absorb a lot of hits. Some foot guards, though, could be a very good investment here as well, though, for Chocolate Starfish. Again, excellent elite infantry, the bazookas and Thompsons, and some pretty good grenades. Really should grab that machine gun. I have no idea why they wouldn't grab that machine gun. Are they afraid they're going to, like, start turning German? Don't touch it, Reginald! I heard if you touch it, you turn German! Oh, dear. Yes.
You have 5 command points available to you.
What does turning Germany? Well, it means you start talking with a funny accent, and you know, you start hating ethnic minorities. So, business as usual then. Well, when you put it like that. And there goes Charlotte, able to grab at the machine gun. I really feel like that was a definite slip up there by Chocolate Starfish. Definite slip up. Should at least try to destroy it. Instead, they allow the opponent to, you know, nicely grab back, closing on that Panther here. Going for the Archdart here. They could have called in the Panther by now, but I suppose Charlotte went here for the Stug Assault Group just in case of like heavy infantry builds. Or maybe just by reflex, who knows. All the way though, Churchill tank, Crusade on the move again. Doesn't bother with that mortar, but they do have that pack forward alongside the 6 pounder gun, which is definitely going to be a headache there for Charlotte's armor. Particular Panther. Northish Stug pushing through. The lack of infantry I still find is a bit disconcerting. And the lack of a Panzer Grenadier officer quarters, truth be told. Crusaders enter the pack 40 here, the Panzer Economy 40, which obviously would also benefit from the Panzer Grenadier officer quarters. Nebelwerfer barrage off again. Hoping I imagine to catch that British mortar tube. Silence it for all, once and for all. Push through the center. Stugs at the Churchill tank packed up here, but the pack Crusader and the 6 pounder gun almost got the Stug there. Quick smoke deployment there saves one of Charlotte's Sturmgeschütze in the face of the British armoured assault. Southeast section to move forwards.
We are losing ground. The enemy has the lead. Our anti-tank gun is out of commission.
Grab northern point. Sappers run to the enemy photo up north here. Machine defense, grab northern victory point. We got 275 to 281. Churchill tank keeps up the advantage. Stugs falling a bit back here. Machine takes a nice hit from the Churchill tank. Quickly pushing back here, flanked by the 6 pounder gun. He can't go for the Panther. And I imagine Charlotte's response will be to, yes, call in the Panther as soon as they can. The machine team being mauled out in the end by the Churchill tank and the Crusader tank here. Crew is being absolutely ripped apart here. There we go, full wipe. on machine retreating here. Stuke charging forwards. Pack 40 setting up here to support the British armour. Panther getting ready to move forwards. Needlewerfer can soon fire as well here. Pioneers being sent to the death here by Charlotte, I imagine, by accident. Churchill tank keeps the forwards advance. There you go. Pioneers swapped out. Replacements pushed in as well here. So right now we can see Chocolate Starfish is besieging Charlotte within her own base. A good thing is going to be necessary here, I think, to catch the British off guard. And again, some infantry really would go a long way at this point. Panther switching about as well here. Very good. 274 to 281. Machine guns being held southwards. Panther on the move as well that way. Stukes, of course, in need of repairs. Needlewerfer at the rate to bombard. The situation here for Charlotte is a bit tense. Stuke in heavy need repairs there, and a fresh coat of paint. Finally getting some infantry there. Thumbs up, some Panzergunner dealer.
We are losing possession of a capture point.
That took long enough. Again, I'd still recommend some Panzergunner in the officer quarters. Just to pilot it, Germans around at MD-42. Stuke half 8 of 1882. Charlotte, though, clearly not rushing in blindly. And we got a second Churchill tank out here for Chocolate Starfish, only adding to the situation here being not exactly great for Charlotte. His two fairly heavy tanks. They were incredibly heavily armoured, as that was basically their job, to support infantry attacks and draw the fire away from the infantry while just punching through hard points. They were not exactly meant to engage other tanks, which were typically they didn't have like a particularly great gun, but it was the British that realised they needed bigger guns. So for example, late model Churchills would have had like roughly the same gun as a Cromwell. And there you go, shining ready for the push. We got the Panther spearheading, Stukes, Panthers there. Infantry retreating, Panthers drawing the fire, but this allows the Churchills and the Panthers and Stukes are getting some good hits on the Churchill tanks here. Well, as soon as the anti-tank gives away its position, that man's going to get hit with the Needlewerfer. Panthers bouncing the shots as 80mm of sloped armor can pretty much deflect most shots from a Churchill tank. Panther got his side here from the 6-pounder gun. But yeah, Panther armor is actually worth its price tag in Company C. Definitely something I like. Even with the buffed anti-tank guns, they can't easily punch through. I mean, they can still occasionally get some shots through, but it's only tougher. Though, of course, you do have the mantle of side armor shots there, which is how you definitely should be doing it anyways. Stuke bouncing a shot there, bombarding the 6-pack 40 in the center. Direct hit from the Needlewerfer rocket. Crew screams as they're covered in caustic oils that light them up. Needlewerfer bite again. Charlotte is having no luck with that Needlewerfer, no issue. Panther need repairs. Punch sitting out again. More infantry will still be a good idea here for Charlotte. Stuke's pushing his southwards onto the beaches to force off the sappers here. We've got 220 to 281. In fact, I think a smarter move for Charlotte actually just advance through the beaches. See, grab the southern victory point as well. Leave the central road here to the British so far. And their second pack got seats as well there. There's 2 packs now in service of the British Army. Talk about awkward. In the center, though, machine guns, punch guns, pushing in there. Mortar spotted here. Could be cleared out with a bundle grenade if Chocolate Starfish is a bit too slow. He is not. I would not be surprised if Charlotte's next move will, of course, just be more Panthers to deal with all these Churchill tanks. So it doesn't hurt those the anti-tank guns either. But I do think a wise move would also push into the southern half of the beach here. Sees that. Punks are being pushed back with the sections. Stuke's on the move. Point blank blast could be an idea to consider here, or just firing at a nice safe distance. Reginald there cut down by the Stuke's machine guns. Worth noting, not all Stukes have been upgraded. We've got the Panther pushing forwards as well here. Section there being ripped apart out in the open. Just intense machine gun fire here from so many sources, leaving them, quite frankly, quite dead. A bit of British air ability there. Leave the one that has artillery rating down there. Also providing line of sight. Bit dangerous there for Charlotte's machine gun crew and infantry. Got the northwestern victory point back here. Troops ready for another push. Could still go for more infantry, because we'll also just go for the Stuka Sword Group, but most likely he is planning another Panther here. Meanwhile, big anti-tank to push out the centre. Bit rescue calls due to the presence of the Nebelwerfer. I would imagine at this point, Chocolate Starfish would appreciate the wonders of spreading out the anti-tank ability in the face of a Nebelwerfer. Panther equipped the spotting scopes. We're not surprised to see Mechanized Assault, but we could also see Searing Artillery Barrage. Doesn't recruit that mortar at all. Still not really much happening on the beaches anymore. Typical actually of the Twin Beaches is a lot of players just tend to forget the beaches exist after a certain point. Pushing northwards here, Nebelwerfer at the ready. We got 195 to 161. Looking at it, direct hit on the 6-pounder gun. Also, we can see the anti-tank actually did get spread out here. Some shots their punch pushing forwards, assisting a southern push onto the beaches now by Charlotte. Very good. Can also call in the second Panther. Nebelwerfer wiped out again. That Nebelwerfer wiped out so many times by now. Pack 40 on the hill here. Bombarding the Stooge. Got point blank blast here. We need to be careful about anti-tank grenades. There we go. Sort of. Damage in the Stooge. Get hit by 2 anti-tank grenades. Need some support in the south. The Pentacles left to fend for themselves as the Churchills lumber onto the beaches. Second Panther still not happening here. Is it a Stug Assault Group that Charlotte is planning? Am I missing out on something here? I mean, a Stug Assault Group honestly wouldn't be a bad idea. No, it is a Panther. It is a Panther. There you go. Second Panther out. That is a total of 2 Panthers now for Charlotte. And the third Panther going to be shortened. This is definitely known as a bad time for British armour. Will require 17-pounder guns or some really smart manoeuvring. Or some really bad manoeuvring from Charlotte and the Germans. Stug knocked out. Excellent kill there, of course, for Chocolate Starfish and the 4th Infantry Division. We've got the Panthers pushing forwards here. Straight for the Churchills, backed up with the Stug. May, of course, want to focus down one Churchill tank at a time. Also, crucially, you should probably be careful about exposing the side armor there to these Churchill tanks, as you don't want to make things easier for them. There you go, going for it. Churchill tanks, they're bouncing off shots of the Panthers, 80mm of slope frontal armor. Almost got the Churchill tank here, almost. A high velocity 10-pounder gun could penetrate most tanks' armor, actually, for a good part of the war. There we go, Churchill tank down, quite a blow there to Chocolate Starfish. Second Churchill tank also in the danger zone here. Could try and pop focus fire just to increase the rate of fire on the Panthers. There you go, I think. Nope. Right, briefly. And there we go. Both Churchill tanks down. This is a huge blow there. 2 Chocolate Starfish here, and the Panther just bounced another shot here. The situation now for Chocolate Starfish is what you'd call pretty uncomfortable. Got Searing Artillery here. Interesting choice there. And Charlotte also now has the victory point lead over Chocolate Starfish in a bit of a reversal there. Some more infantry I still think would be an excellent idea there. Panther looking forward to go for the Crusader tank here. Easily getting 2 shots in there. Go Stug, finish off the Crusader tank with this. Chocolate Starfish has just lost all of his armor. All of his tanks are ablaze. Shit, those Panthers will get wiped. Stug pushing forward here. Going to go for the anti-tank gun. Ooh, those Panthers will get wiped. I think this Stug could also get knocked out of the anti-tank grenades. And then 6-pounder gun. Pack 40 that is. Okay, we got a Vespa. Actually, I do recall someone actually wanted it to be featured here, though I think that was like weeks ago now, so I don't know if they're still around, but if you wanted the Vespa, here it is. Based off the Panzer II chassis, mounting a 105mm howitzer. Was part of most German Panzer divisions as self-propelled artillery of the longer ranges. There was, of course, also the heavier version, the Hummel, which mounted on a 50mm gun on the Nashorn chassis.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
Fun fact there. So there you go. Vespa out. I think they actually buffed the Vespa too, a bit. They're off. That's only going to make it even tougher here for Chocolate Starfish to rely on his anti-tank guns, because the Vesper's just going to slam them into the ground here. Foot guards up, not a bad idea at all, but a bit late. At this point, I do think the priority... well, the Vesper does make the 17-pounder guns a bit tough. One option would be probably Grants, with you know, just lots of guns. Of course, have to see what Chocolate Starfish does, but the situation is definitely starting to get very tough for him. Vesper remains silent. Vesper remains very silent. It would also, by the way, mount a variety of artillery guns, unlike French up-armored, well, tanks converted into self-propelled artillery pieces as well. There's a fun fact. A lot of those saw service in Normandy. Section there, dealing with advancing Panther-Grenadiers. They could use the mechanized assault push forward. There you go, foot guards at the ready. Another bit of episode. So we got this Panther, the Stuke pushing 40 backed up by the Vesper. Mortar firing down Death. Panthers pushing forwards. Foot guards. Need to be careful, got a point blank blast. There you go, obliterating 1/3 of the foot guard section. Stuke not equipped with a pinlock machine gun though. Panthers flying away there. Foot guards forced withdraw here. Section pushing for the Panthers here, being ripped apart with machine gun fire and main gun fire here. Up north, the machine keeps defending the northern victory point here. Stuke being hammered with British artillery. Oh dear, gonna lose the Stuke at this rate. Nope. Ability ran out of juice right before that happened. Section being wiped apart by the Panthers here. We got the Vesper firing away there. Hoping to get lucky here, I guess. Charlotte just sort of blindly fires and lightly damages someone, but probably should have waited until the anti-tank guns like appeared a spot where they could actually like hit them. That ends up being a bit of a waste of a barrage. Just a bit. Still, it is nice to sort of see the Vesper in action finally. And we got a Panzer Company. Interesting choices there. Maybe Panzer Force, maybe Sturmpanzers. Maybe Starstruppen. Who knows? Machining flanked by the section, quickly routed. Got machining forwards here, straight down. What remains of the centre road increase on this point has just been completely ripped apart. North feet, grenade off on the Panther. Slightly shocking at both Panthers at Betty too, by the way. And we got Tilly called in the Panthers. Sturmgeschütze on the way. Panthers there retreating. Massive throng of foot guardsmen forwards here. The lack of infantry is going to prove a bit challenging for Charlotte. It's going to need the machine guns up to deal with those. Stuke getting hit by the anti-tank, and Vesper is ready to fire again. Maybe the anti-tanks will this time be the target. Looks like it, but already now we can see there Chocolate Starfish is repositioning the support weapons of the Vesper is once more just sort of pounding dirt here. Up north here, Panthers falling back in the face of the foot guards advance. We got more till being called in here. The foot guards keep up the assault. The Panthers are just desperately disengaging here. As the foot guards keep up their relentless pursuit. Stuke's firing the machine guns. Vesper needs to reposition as well here. Machine gun teams would benefit a lot from being brought up here. Panthers machine gunning up here. Foot guards being apart. We've got grenades off here. Light gun bomb, the dodge nicely and easily here by Charlotte. Rather desperate defense here by Chocolate Starfish, but it's kind of working in part because of Charlotte's, well, lack of infantry. What will happen next here, though, from Charlotte? That matter from Chocolate Starfish. Vesper's almost ready to fire again. Panther being fixed up. Rather heavily damaged, that one. Yep, Vesper at the ready. Northern point. Machine gun there approaching the east level. 178 is 91. Another barrage here from the Vesper. So far, not really very effective barrages here from Charlotte. Fortunately for Chocolate Starfish, but less so for our viewers. Just catching the section out in the open, but it's starting to get wiped out with the section. And we go, narrowly halts them, but it's also with a slip of health left here. Punch the flanking end here, clearing out support weapons. And the machine gun crew gets wiped out. Will Chocolate Starfish this time actually seize it? No, once more the machine gun is left behind for Charlotte to pick up again. Big foot guard push here, Panzer. They're being ripped apart out in the open. Need to treat them schnell before they get turned into corpses. Panthers moving forward. Stooks need repairs. Whatever shall arrive here from the Panzer Company. No side skirts even.
Enemy down to 75 points.
More flares. We got 74 points left here. Things are heating up here for Chocolate Starfish. It's do or die. It's now or never. Panther exposing the rear armor here as the foot guards come charging across the hill here. Need to push the front armor towards them. Grenades off as well here. A lot of bazooka fire here off. Front armor mostly handling it. Mostly. Could use the Veterans 1 ability here. There we go, so penetrating on the Panther. We got Stooks charging in here. Point blank shot being loaded up here against the foot guards. There we go. Exposing the rear side arm of the Panthers. This bazookas is definitely not ideal. And the Stoog goes down. Excellent kill here for Chocolate Starfish, though. Still needs a lot more killing. And we got another Churchill tank up here. Pack going up here. Still not bothering with these drop German machine guns. Going for northern victory point, we got the Stuttgart machine holding off. Chocolate Starfish, a little raid section there. The North Panthers rushing in the deep of the section here. 50 points left. Sturmpanzer here for Charlotte. Wow. It's a real armoured circus now. This is a real armoured circus. Got the rest of them being held forwards again. Stug halfway to the east slope, Sturmpanzer halfway done. Still on armoured sides, goes to officer quarters. And there you go, pack flank by the Stug. Point blank blast, could be an idea there. Up north, the Churchill tank is rushing into line of fire. The Panthers here. Focused fire would be pretty good. And there we go, we got our Sturmpanzer ready. Got the Sturmpanzer ready. Flanking the Churchill tank here with the Stoke, perhaps. Got 3278 here. Panthers keep up the advance here and got the Churchill tank. Likely the last hope here of Chocolate Starfish against Charlotte. The Churchill is nothing now but a burning refrigerator.
The enemy is down to the last 25 points.
Tipped over. Point blank blast against the foot guards here. We got GG well played. Hold down, but that is not going to stop the bazookas from finishing off. And the half 8 of SNE3. Got the southern pointy with the Panzer gun dealer.
The last 10 points.
Taking damage. We get repairs later.
There you go. GG. Game over. Victory for Charlotte. A loss there for Chocolate Starfish. A fierce back and forth fight. Definitely a bit unusual there. Definite lack of infantry. I do feel like this infantry perhaps got dragged out a bit here for Charlotte because, you know, I think more infantry alone would have probably done a lot of good. Maybe also some more flanks using the Panthers with focused fire. Again, I feel like the Beaches here was fairly underutilized as an attack path here from both sides, in particular Charlotte. But still, an interesting match. Only highlights the machine guns and mortars as counters. I'm a bit surprised they never recruit that mortar. And there definitely some mistakes like not recruiting that machine gun here or there that I think definitely benefited Charlotte a lot more than it benefited Chocolate Starfish. There's definitely some room for improvement there. But still, a bit of interesting fight here, a bit of different stuff here as we continue to explore the new patch. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, consider telling your friends your family, but not your enemies. This is Imperial 18. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for our next episode. Bye.